Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome. And welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, today on the Ryan Awesome Show, I'll be talking about Impact Wrestling for March 16th, 2021. Now, overall, man, it was a good show. It was a good show. Great main event between Sami Callihan and Trey Miguel. Probably the best match on the show for me. You know, and they just coming off a sacrifice, which was a good pay per view. But yeah, tonight was a great show. It was a good show. And so yeah, so this is the Impact Wrestling review for March 16th, 2021. And if you haven't done this already, man, hit the thumbs up. What are you waiting for? Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you turn on that bell for all notifications so you won't miss out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, you turn on that bell, because I'm here each and every single week. So make sure you subscribe and you turn on that bell so you don't miss out. And so yeah. We started off the show with a tag team match. And it was Triple XL, that's Larry D and Acey Romero, versus FinJuice, the new Impact World Tag Team Champions. That's David Finlay and Juice Robinson. So yeah, this is a quick match. So yeah, we started off the match. We had jabs to Larry D from Robinson, and he followed that up with a drop kick. We had a double bulldog to Larry D from FinJuice. We had a huge crossbody to FinJuice from Acey Romero. And then we had a crossbody to Robinson's back from Acey Romero, who's a really big dude. And then we had a hot tag to Finlay. He took out Triple XL. We had a flying European uppercut to Larry D from Finlay. And then, Finlay, he goes for the cover. And then Romero, he tried to break it up with a running senton. And so, yeah, Finlay, he saw it coming. And so Finlay, he moved out of the way. And so Acey Romero, he ended up hitting a running senton on his partner, Larry D, by accident. And so we had a double flapjack to Larry D. And then to end the match, we had Juice Robinson. He dove outside the ring on Acey Romero. And then we had we have David Finlay. He hit his finishing move, the acid drop to Larry D to win the match. And that was it. So FinJuice, they win the match. And right after this, we had the Good Brothers. So yeah, FinJuice, they were celebrating, and we had the Good Brothers. They interrupted FinJuice, and so this is what they had to say about it.
Finlay and Juice Robinson coming into Impact Wrestling and taking our tag team championships. That match shouldn't have even counted. It was Gallows' fault we lost in the first place. You got pinned. Beside the point. No, it's not. Do you realize what the Good Brothers are? We've been busy. So busy. Impact Wrestling. We've been busy doing Dynamite with our good brother Kenny Omega. I've got 4 children at home with a hot Asian wife, and I have to homeschool them on Zoom. I've been exhausted. That match should counted. Because the Good Brothers weren't prepared. You're right. We were absolutely not prepared. We were both a little hungover, which happens sometimes. And I mean, me personally,
A little hungover.
I had that jet lag. I had that long first-class flight all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, all the way here to Nashville, Tennessee. So we clearly were not prepared. And speaking of not being prepared, we want our rematch, and you're not prepared for that because those World Tag Team titles are coming back around the waist of the Good Brothers. We want our titles back.
You know what? No problem. You want a rematch?
Yes.
We'd be honored. We did exactly what we said we were going to do. Let's beat you for these. And as reigning and defending and honorable Sweet Boy Tag Team Champions of the world, give you a rematch. We will give you your rematch.
But you talk about being busy. We're busy men too, you see. We've got to go back to Japan, hit a couple Korikens, get a brother Torian, It does count. So you guys will have to wait until we come back in April. Young boys.
Oh. And so, yeah, the fight had broke out between FinJuice.
But what I take from this is that the Impact World Tag Team titles are on their way to Japan, and the Good Brothers can't do a darn thing about it.
So, yeah, that was it with that. So, FinJuice, they got into, Gallows and Anderson's head. Gallows and Anderson, they want a rematch. And FinJuice saying that, we got to wait. Y'all got to wait. Because we gotta go to Japan. We gotta make a stop to Japan. So y'all gonna have to wait. Y'all gonna have to wait. And so yeah, that was it with that. And so right after this, we had Sami Callihan. He spoke, and he spoke about Trey Miguel, and this is what Mr. Callihan had to say. The draw, Sami Callihan.
What's your message?
I think I made it pretty obvious since day one that the draw Sami Callihan's message is exposing
Fakes and phonies.
That's when my issue with Trey Miguel began. Sure, he has all the talent in the world, but he lacks passion. He fakes having passion. And the biggest thing that pisses me off is the fact Trey confuses anger with passion. Sure, Trey is hot-headed, but it's the
Passion that drives a man to do anything to win.
It's the passion that Trey Miguel's student Sam Beal had last week when he did whatever it takes to be on Impact Wrestling, even if that means stabbing his trainer Trey Miguel in the back.
Trey,
I see who you really are. You can get a couple wins here and there, but you lack the
passion
to really get to that next level. When it comes down to it, Trey Miguel will not do what it takes to get the job done.
no, I will.
Tonight, I am going to embarrass you, Trey. Tonight, in front of the entire world.
Trey Miguel, I am going to punch you.
And make an example out of you.
Passion. And that was it. That was it from Sami Callihan. Saying that, Trey Miguel, he lacks passion. And so right after this, we had Scott D'Amore and the Good Brothers. They're backstage. So the Good Brothers, they're not happy about, FinJuice telling them to wait. And so this is what happened.
No, Scott. Scott, this wasn't part of the plan. This wasn't how it was supposed to happen. They weren't supposed to turn tag team championships from us. We're the Good Brothers. This is all about us. How in the world are these little young boys going to take our titles and take them back to Japan for a month?
They're supposed to be making us Chonko, not to cut you off. Now they're going to be dancing and rapungi with who knows what strippers, beer, I don't know, with our world tag team titles that we wear to represent this company, not only on this show, but on AEW.
Guys, totally agree. So how did it happen?
It's not
Wasn't part of my plan. You guys said it was easy. You guys said you'd take care of them. And you didn't. So you know what? Now you got to eat it, guys. They're back in Japan. They're on tour for New Japan Pro Wrestling. They're defending the titles over there. The belts they beat you for. But they will be coming back next month. In April 24th, Rebellion, one of the biggest, most historic pay-per-views in history.
Okay.
And you guys have a contractually obligated rematch. So that night on the 24th, live on pay-per-view, the Good Brothers versus the Impact Tag Team Champions, David Finlay and Juice Robinson. This is your rematch. Go out there, set the table straight.
Okay.
I like it.
Get things right.
I like it. I appreciate it.
You guys got this.
1 month,
right?
1 month, no title
Rebellion.
pay, maybe a GFR, good faith race. Thanks, boss.
Yeah.
See you around.
Yeah, great.
Oh, Tommy Dreamer.
Hey, Tommy.
Just close this. Yeah. We have no tag titles.
We do not.
Don't want to be one of those guys. We got ourselves in a mess here.
Look, Tommy, we forged a working relationship with a company that hated us for years. Went out there, built a bridge, and yeah, no one expected it, but Juice and Finlay won the tag titles. But you know what that means? That means they'll be back here representing New Japan in April. Right? Tommy, this isn't an easy thing. I mean, we could just do it the way you did it, run a company into the ground with your buddy Paulie. It's not that hard to run it. It's not that hard, right? Just running a big company, running shows week by week all over the place, going around the world. So easy, Tommy. You know what? Hey, you think you're good? You think it's so easy? Hey, we've got Hardcore Justice coming up. The next Impact Plus special. A pay-per-view. Impact Plus Fight TV around the world. And this is right up your alley. This is Hardcore Justice. This is an entire genre you built. You're so smart, book the card. It's so easy. Just do it. You know what? Go. Even want to use my office, sit down, use the desk.
Well, I already jotted out some notes for you.
Oh, I already did it.
This is your card.
Yeah, Hardcore Justice. Wrote it before. Write it again.
It was pretty good.
That one's real good.
That's not bad. All right. This is your night. Tommy Dreamer, commissioner for the evening.
Thanks, bud.
Knock him dead.
We'll get through this. Appreciate you.
You too, Tommy.
And that was it. That was it from that. You know, so apparently we have a pay-per-view coming up. It's called Hardcore Justice. And, you know, I'm not a fan of it. You know, they shouldn't have a pay-per-view right before Rebellion. You know, it's 2 weeks. It said it's on Saturday, April 10th. So that's 2 weeks before Rebellion. So I would have gotten rid of the pay-per-view. I would have put it right after Rebellion because Rebellion is the most important show. And you want to build towards Rebellion. So I wouldn't put a pay-per-view close to another pay-per-view, you know, because that's overexposure and everything. So yeah, I would have saved it for later. I'm not saying get rid of it. I'm just saying that it should have put it away from Rebellion because it's so close to Rebellion, and so we don't need no back-to-back pay-per-views. That's not good. And so yeah, and so Tommy Dreamer, yeah, he already had the match card on. You know, he already made the matches. My question is who, like, what are the matches on the show? What are the matches on the show? We don't know. Only Scott D'Amore and Tommy Dreamer knows. So I guess we'll find out. We'll find out, in the next couple of weeks. And so, yeah, that was it with that. And so right after this, we had a match. And it was Rhyno making his return to Impact Wrestling with, who is the newest member of Violent by Design. And he's being accompanied by Violent by Design, Eric Young, Diener, and Joe Doering versus Jake something. Jake something with James Storm and Chris Sabin in his corner. And so, yeah, this wasn't even much of a match, man. Wasn't much of a match. And so, yeah, Rhyno, he went right after Jake. He had a clothesline on Jake. And then Jake, he fought back. He took control for a little bit. And then Diener, he got on a ring apron trying to distract Jake and the referee. And so Chris Sabin, he got off, he attacked Diener. He beat up Diener. And so, yeah, the fight had broke out, and everybody was fighting. Eric Young, James Storm, Joe Doering, they were fighting. And then, Jake, he was distracted. And so, yeah, Rhyno, he had the gore on Jake to win the match, and that was it. And so, yeah, right after the match, we had Violent by Design. They attacked Jake, Chris Sabin, and James Storm. And then Rhyno, he gored Chris Sabin and James Storm. And then Violent by Design, they teamed up against those three. They beat them all down. And so that was it. And so Violent by Design, they stood tall. And that was it. Didn't know why this match wasn't Rhyno versus Chris Sabin. Why was it Jake versus Rhyno instead of Rhyno versus Chris Sabin? Because, at Sacrifice, Rhyno, he gored Chris Sabin. He attacked Chris Sabin and to turn heel to join Violent by Design. He beat up Chris Sabin, not Jake something. So it should have been Rhyno versus Chris Sabin. And so, yeah. But, yeah, that was it. Wasn't much of a match. And so right after this, we had a backstage segment. It was from the women. It was Tenille Dashwood with Kaleb, Deonna Purrazzo, Susan, Kimber, and Fire and Flava. And they were talking about their strategy for the tag team match, the 12 women's tag team match. And this is what they had to say about it.
Okay, you guys, we didn't even have a chance to run this through the focus group yet, but I feel like we've come up with the the perfect name. Kaleb,
Are you guys ready?
get him with it.
Tenille Dashwood. And the followers.
What? Oh, no.
The followers.
Ain't nobody following her nowhere. Who's following her?
She's got like 1.5 million followers. I'm pretty sure it's like more than everybody
Okay,
here.
how about instead of coming up with a team name, we come up with the team plan? All right, as the Knockouts champion, I think I can offer us some guidance tonight.
First of all, if anybody gonna offer guidance in a tag team situation, it's the Knockouts Tag Champs. And since we got 2 belts, that makes us 2 times more the champion.
Oh, you know what? But Susan and Kim know when they follow my lead, I lead them to victory.
You mean
Right.
Beavis and Butthead over here? You mean the Susan that's always rogue, right? That part. That part.
You know what? Fine. Calm down. How about we don't let the cliche happen? Every time new people come together, they argue. Instead, let's get on the same page. And tonight we can do what we did last week. And that's leave everyone laid out. What do you say?
You know, you said something finally. Finally, we can agree
Okay?
on, so
You
let's
right.
go.
All right, let's go. Let's do this.
Let's
Come on.
go.
Okay.
Team Justice. Here we go.
All right.
That's not the name, right? It's not Team
Not the
Justice. No.
Oh my gosh. I didn't get to deliver my inspirational quote.
I still want to hear it.
And that was it. That was it from that. And so right after this, we had a match, and it was Rohit Raju versus Shera. And so yeah, we had Raju. So yeah, first off, Raju, he made his entrance first, and then Shera made his entrance. And so when Shera got in the ring, we had Raju. He had ran out of the ring, got out of the ring. And so yeah, Shera, he was talking to the referee, and so Raju, he had attacked Shera from behind. And then, you know, he was beating up Shera, and then Shera, he was fighting back. He had a big boot to Raju. And then at one point, man, Shera, he hit Raju with a blue thunder bomb while standing up. And Raju, he landed awkwardly. He landed bad. He did not land it good. And so yeah, so Raju, he recovered. At one point he was targeting Shera's arm. And then Shera, he was fighting back with clotheslines and corner splashes. We had a pump kick to Shera, followed up by a jumping knee. And then he hit a corner double knee to Shera. And then he followed it up with a cannonball. And so, yeah, at one point, Raju, he was trying to dive. Yeah, he was going to dive on Shera. But Shera had caught him. He had caught him by the neck. Well, first off, he got on the top rope. And before he jumped, he yelled. He screamed. And he jumped. And then Shera, he had caught him by the neck and gave him a choke slam, turned into a backbreaker. And so, yeah, he went for the cover. Raju, he kicked out. And then, yeah, Raju, he had rolled up Shera. And he had put his foot on the rope. And so Raju, he won the match by cheating. So Raju, he cheated to win the match. And so that was it with that. I don't know where they're going with this storyline. But it feel like it's not going anywhere. Like what is it? Like what they're fighting about? Like at first, yeah, they're fighting because Shera, he was blaming Shera for something about him losing. But dude, like what's the point of them fighting? It was better with them together instead of them being separate. They shouldn't be fighting each other. They should be fighting together. So I don't know why they broke them up. But yeah, man, that was it with that. And so right after this, we had Swann. Swann, he was backstage. He was talking to Willie Mack. And, you know, Willie Mack, he was congratulating Swann. And, you know, Willie Mack was saying, yeah, man, we're going to party. And then Swann said, you know, I'm not going to party tonight because tonight I have to take care of business. And so, yeah, that was it with that. And so right after that, we had Swann. He came out to the ring to speak. And so this is what he had to say.
You see, on April 24th, your boy is going to get an opportunity to right his wrong. You see, I'm going to go out here on April 24th, and it's something that never happens in this business. I'm going to go out here repping Impact Wrestling as the Impact Unified World Champion, taking on another company's top champion, Kenny Omega, the AEW World Champion. You see, on April 24th, there will be no good brothers by your side. I won't have a Moose. I won't have a Chris Sabin. This is one of the most important things that could ever happen to our industry. It will be me and you and I, one-on-one. And at Rebellion, we will see who the real world champion is and who the real best wrestler in the world is.
D-Lo, it was a franchise-defining moment.
And so yeah, some music playing over. Yeah, Don Callis, he had interrupted. And so yeah, came out, interrupted. He shook Rich Swann's hand. So yeah, he shook his hand. So yeah, that's the first part of it. And so yeah, he has something to say.
How proud I am right now to be out here with you on your very special night, man. I mean, I sense a little hesitation here between us, but you know I like to talk about history. You know I love to talk about history, and you and I, we've had our own history, and you just stop me if I say anything that's not true, please. I want you to stop me. Okay, no, please. You know I am a huge Rich Swann guy. You know, Rich, it was me that wanted you here in the first place. It was me that fought to sign Rich Swann. I said Rich Swann is the most charismatic, athletic performer of the last 10 years. You're a once-in-a-decade performer, and I fought for us to sign you. And Rich, when you broke your leg, I fought to make sure you and your family still got that check every 2 weeks, because I said Rich Swann is integral to the future of this company. And Rich, is it not true that I called you, at least once a week, right? To check on you? Is that not true? I think you and I had that. You and I had that. And Rich, it's not like you and I have a lot in common. I mean, I saw talent, like an eye for it. You were my guy, Rich. You were my guy. I was the one who pushed to have you in that main event at Bound for Glory, even though a lot of people said he hasn't wrestled in 10 months. Why would we put him in the main event? I fought for Rich Swann. True or not true? Right. You've been my guy. You were my shiny toy that I was so proud of, Rich. But you know, Kenny Omega's uncle, who trained me, the Golden Sheik, and I well up a little bit talking about him because he was so important to me in my life. I remember one time I had bought my first car with my first wrestling paycheck, and then I saw somebody else with a nicer car, and I felt like there was an emptiness inside me, and because I wanted that. And the Sheik told me, he said, you know, Don, he said, there'll always be something bigger and better, something nicer, something you desire more. And I don't mean to be shallow, but for me, that was Kenny Omega. So you see, I kind of moved on from you to Kenny Omega, but that's okay, because Rich, you remember when you thanked me for booking you in that match in January at Hard to Kill? Do you remember? You were happy about that. It's not my fault that it didn't work out the way you wanted. But let's be positive. I mean, you must have had a great night, win these belts. You must have gone home, big party. You and your wife are great people, I'm sure. You had all your friends over. I gotta think that in the back of your mind, you had that one-winged angel. I don't know. I mean, did your wife tell your friends, you know, don't mention that match. Let's focus on this. And you probably were able to put it out of your head for a little bit, Rich, and you probably went to bed with your wife that night and probably went to sleep with her hand on your shoulder, and everybody's feeling really good. But did you wake up in the middle of the night thinking about the one-winged angel at Hard to Kill? Because, Rich, you can come out here with these belts, and this is great, but at the end of the day, you can't change history. And the history books say that at Hard to Kill, you got one-winged angeled. 1, 2, 3. And as much, Rich, as I love you as a performer, You're a once-in-a-decade talent. Kenny Omega is a once-in-a-millennium talent. You're a superstar, Rich. But Kenny Omega, he's a god of pro wrestling. That's just a fact. So you see, Rich, just like I've been there for you as the invisible hand for all of your best moments, I've been there for Kenny too, and I want you to think about some more history. When no one thought Kenny Omega could pin Okada, I was there. When no one thought Kenny Omega had anything left in the tank when he wrestled Jon Moxley for the AEW Championship, I was there. And when no one thought someone from one company could go and headline a main event and a pay-per-view in another at Hard to Kill, I was there. And if you listen to those matches with me on commentary, you'll hear my voice as Kenny Omega hits his finish as he did on you, and do you know what you hear? One-Winged Angel! One-Winged Angel! One-Winged Angel!
He's spitting all over the mic.
And it's always over. So, Rich, you made history at Sacrifice. Congratulations. And now you're going to be a part of history at Rebellion. The first time one world champion versus another, and someone's walking out with both belts. You're going to be a part of history again. But Rich, my friend, the problem for you is, in this case, I've already written that history.
Oh.
Sleep well, brother.
And that was it. Wow. You really getting into Rich Swann's head about that, the finishing move that put him away, the one-wing angel. Now, yeah, there is no way that Rich Swann is beating Kenny Omega. There is no way Kenny Omega is losing to nobody. To nobody. You know, Kenny Omega, he's going to beat Rich Swann. I said this time and time and again. Whoever would have walked out a Sacrifice the champion, whether it was Moose or Rich Swann, whoever would have won that match, they were going to lose. They were going to lose to Kenny Omega. I said it before the match was even made, dude. There is no way Kenny Omega is losing. Kenny Omega will beat Rich Swann at Rebellion, and he'll hold 2 titles. Three titles. He had the TNA Heavyweight Championship, and he had the Impact Heavyweight Championship, and the AEW World Championship wrapped around his waist. You know, I said this in my Sacrifice review. They did not call Kenny Omega the belt collector for no reason, man. There's a reason why they call him that, because he's here to collect the championships, and he will win those titles from Rich Swann. And so, yeah, man, that was it with that. Can't wait for the match, man. Can't wait for Rebellion. Should be a great match, man. An awesome match. You in the ring with Kenny Omega, man. And so, yeah, that was it with that. And so right after this, we had a paid ad from AEW. And it was Tony Khan, the Forbidden Door, and Tony Schiavone. And they were talking about AEW, tomorrow's AEW Dynamite. You know, Christian Cage, he'll finally speak because he didn't get a chance to speak last week. And, you know, they were promoting the matches, Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa in the unsanctioned match, Good Brothers versus Jon Moxley, Good Brothers versus Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston, and, you know, the rest of the matches. And so, yeah, that was it with that. And so right after this, we got a backstage segment with Eddie Edwards and Matt Cardona. Always ready, Matt Cardona. And so, yeah, this is what happened.
To be honest, it's been nice having somebody have my back.
Well, I mean, Hernandez came out. I helped you out, so it is what it is.
Thank you, my friend.
Brian Myers.
No, don't. Hey, come on.
Bad mood, come on.
Don't be scared,
Come
man.
on.
I beat you at Sacrifice. It's all good. We're good, man.
What is this? An I Hate Brian Myers fan club meeting going on here? Conspiring against me like you did at Sacrifice? Eddie, let me talk to him. I got this.
Sure?
All right, I got it.
All right. We'll see you later.
Bro, can we stop this?
What's
Can we
your deal,
squash
man?
this? My deal?
Yeah, what's your deal?
There is no deal. Dude, we're friends. We're partners. We got everything together. Just stop this.
Why are you sticking your nose in my business here?
You mean with Hernandez?
Yeah.
Why'd you pay him off? I had to get involved. We want to make this fair here, bro.
Listen, man. Impact Wrestling is for me. It's my place. It's my one time. After 18 years of dealing with you, multiple time tag team champions, all that, that's great. But this is the one time I was going to do it on my own. Okay? I don't want you here.
Get lost.
And that was it. That was it from that. You know, Brian Myers, he don't want Matt Cardona here. You know, that was it. And so, yeah, right after this, we had a match. It was a 12 knockouts tag match. And it was Tenille Dashwood with Kaleb, Fire and Flava, who are the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Champions. That's Kiera, Hogan, and Tasha Steelz. Deonna Purrazzo, the Virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo, who is the Impact Knockouts Champion. Susan and Kimber versus Havoc, Nevaeh, ODB, Alicia, Jordan Grace, and Jazz. And so, yeah, from the start, we had Alicia. She took out Dashwood. And then Dashwood, she ended up fighting back. She threw Alicia around the ring. We had a hip attack to Dashwood from Alicia. And then Alicia, she had tagged out to ODB. She had a Bronco buster to Dashwood. And so we had a backbreaker clothesline combo to Kimber from Havoc and Nevaeh. And then Havoc, she was throwing Hogan around. And then we had jabs to Purrazzo from Jazz. And then Jazz, she followed it up with a haymaker. And then at that point, man, we had everybody, you know, everybody was going in the ring. They were hitting each other with big moves. And then the fight, you know, the fight had broke out outside the ring. Everybody was beating each other up. And we had a double tope suicida from Jordan Grace and Tasha Steelz on everybody. And then we had a short arm clothesline to Alicia from Purrazzo. And then the heels, they took control of the match by working on Alicia. And so Susan, she had gave Alicia body punches. And we had a hot tag to Jordan Grace. She took out Kimber with a Mickey driver. And Lee, she kicked out. And then we had Alicia. She hit a tilt-a-whirl stunner. So she was paying homage to Stone Cold Steve Austin on 316 Day. And so, yeah. And right after that, everybody was hitting each other with their finishing moves and big moves and stuff. And we had Jazz. She had an X Factor on Kimber. And then the heels, they broke up the pin. And so, yeah, Kimberly and Jazz, they were going back and forth, you know, move for move. And we had not Jordan Grace. We had Jazz. She had locked in the STF submission move to Kimberly to win the match. So Kimberly, she taps out. So Jazz, Jordan Grace, Havoc, Nevaeh, ODB, and Alicia, they won the match. And that was it. Good match, but I don't know why was it a 12-person tag? But it was still good. But yeah, didn't know why it was a 12-person tag. But yeah, so yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, right after this, we had Gia Miller. She interviewed the new X Division champion, Ace Austin, with Madman Fulton in his corner. And so,
please welcome my guest at this time, the new X Division champion, Ace Austin.
Sweet Gia Miller. Can you feel it? Can you feel it in the air? All is right in Impact Wrestling once again. Ace Austin stands at the top of the X Division as a two-time X Division champion. The youngest to ever do so, I might add. This past Saturday at Sacrifice was what I like to call pure poetry. It was a story unfolding the only way it could have, the inevitable way. When I arrived at Impact Wrestling, I was undefeated. And TJP shows up. An upset victory ends my undefeated streak, taps me out a week later. He humbled me. Let's put it that way. And here we are. Now, this past Saturday at Sacrifice, I took the X Division title from TJP. I knocked him right back down a peg.
Chris Bay interrupts.
You want to talk about poetry? Let's talk about art. Where just last Tuesday here on Impact, you lost to Chris Bay via the art of finesse.
Yep.
So, that X Division championship that's around your waist, that would look much better on the most tantalizing man with the most scintillating jacket.
Josh Alexander interrupts.
Slow down. All right, there's some holes in what you're saying right here. Sure, we have a champion, an X Division champion, and we have a field of contenders. And what, you're in line because you beat him? Yeah. What does that say about me when I tapped you out at No Surrender, when I dropped you on your head at No Surrender, making me #1 contender? I think I'm at the front of the line, guys. That's probably undeniable.
Okay, well, I mean, that wouldn't have...
TJP interrupts.
Listen, hey, I don't know
That
if you're
team.
paying attention, but it looks like the front of the line's right here, which means the back of the line is over there. So step back, okay? Yeah, thank you.
So as I was saying, as for Scott D'Amore, next week, me, you, it's round 2. Apparently, when you're the best, you leapfrog the rest.
Oh, snap.
So Ace, enjoy the next 7 days. Don't get any fingerprints on my title. One side now, zombie.
I'm gonna.
His jacket 7 days too. I'm gonna. His jacket 7 days. Yeah, I just sent it over.
And that was it. When you're the best, you get to cut in front of the line in front of the rest. And so, yeah, that was it with that. So, yeah. So, TJP. So, yeah, they all made great points. You know, they all deserve a championship match. Well, Josh Alexander, kind of. You know, when TJP was the champion, Josh Alexander, he did not deserve a championship match because he already had his shot against TJP. But now, yeah, he does deserve a chance. You know, because he did beat Ace Austin, just like what he said. He dropped him on his head. You know, yeah, he won the triple threat revolver match, right? And so, yeah, he won a triple threat revolver match. He had a match with TJP. He lost. So that's why he didn't deserve a championship match when TJP was champion. But now that we have a new champion, yeah, he deserves a chance. Chris Bay, yeah, Chris Bay absolutely deserves a chance at the title because he beat Ace Austin. You know, before Ace Austin became champion, he beat Ace Austin on last Tuesday before Sacrifice. And so, yeah, he deserves a championship match. And TJP, of course, yes, TJP, he does deserve a championship match because when you lose a championship, you have an automatic rematch clause. So TJP is first. And I'm guessing Chris Bay will be second and Josh Alexander will be third. So that might turn into a fatal 4-way, man. That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, that was it with that. So yeah, all of them, they do deserve a chance at the title. And so yeah, that was it, man, with that. And so yeah, right after this, well, first off, before we get in our main event, let's talk about next week's show. And so yeah, for next week's show, it's gonna be Deonna Purrazzo. No, I'm looking at the wrong thing. For next week's show, it's gonna be Ace Austin, the new X Division champion, with Madman Fulton in his corner, versus TJP for the X Division championship. And then we have Deonna Purrazzo, who is the Impact Knockouts champion, versus Jazz for the Impact Knockouts championship. Wait, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's a non-title match. And then it's going to be Karl Anderson with Doc Gallows in his corner versus Eddie Edwards. And so, yeah, that's next week. And so, yeah, right after this was the main event, which was the best match on the show for me. The best match on the show. We had the draw, Sami Callihan versus Trey Miguel. And so, yeah, when he was making his entrance, so Sami Callihan, he made his entrance first. And then Trey Miguel, he came out next. And so when Trey Miguel made his entrance, he ran right at the ring. He was running right into the ring. He went right after Sami Callihan. And so, yeah, they were going back and forth. We had a pump kick to Miguel. And we had a jumping knee to Callihan. And so Callihan, he countered with a clothesline. And then Trey Miguel, he had a sliding drop kick on Callihan. And they were fighting outside the ring. At one point, they threw each other into the guardrail. And then at one point, we had Miguel. He was going for a springboard move off the rope. And so Sami Callihan, he had caught him and then locked him into the Boston Crab. It looked like the Lion Tamer, what Chris Jericho would do, like the Lion Tamer. And so we went to commercial break. After that. And so, yeah, we came back from commercial break. We had Callihan. He was targeting Miguel's leg. And then at one point, he put his leg. He had tied Trey Miguel's leg into the ring post. And so he had stomped at his leg. He was targeting the leg and the ankle. So he stomped at it on the ring post. And so, yeah, we had Callihan. He threw Miguel into the turnbuckle twice. And then we had Miguel. He was trying to fight back, but it's not working. And then we had Sami Callihan. He locked in a Boston Crab again. But this time he locked it in on the ropes. And so, yeah, they were locked on the ropes. And so yeah, Sami Callihan, he got insecurity kicked by Trey Miguel. So Trey Miguel, he had ran over to Sami Callihan and gave him a step up insecurity. And so Miguel, he was going for a springboard move, and so he missed. He missed, and his ankle was acting up. So that was a dumb move. When you have a leg injury, why are you going at the top rope? So yeah, I thought that was a dumb move. And so yeah, we had Sami Callihan. He did ripcord clothesline to Trey Miguel. And so Sami Callihan, he tried to go for the power driver, but Miguel, he rolled out of it, and he gave Sami Callihan a double stomp. And so we went to commercial break after that. And so this is why I didn't like. I did not like the commercial breaks. I did not like the commercial breaks during the main event. It should have just been one commercial break. But we had two commercial breaks. And so yeah, we came back from commercial break. They were going back and forth with chops and strikes. And we had a huge clothesline to Sami Callihan. And then Miguel, he was fighting back, trying to get some feeling back into his leg. And then, he went for a top rope move again. Another dumb move. He missed again, and his ankle was acting up again. And then Sami Callihan, he hit Trey Miguel with a rope-assisted neck breaker. And then Miguel, he kicked out. And then we had Sami Callihan, he tried to go for his power driver, his finishing move. But Miguel, he fought out of it. And then when Miguel, he hit the crossroads. He hit the version of the crossroads on Callihan, and Callihan kicked out. And then Trey Miguel, he locked in his submission move. He tried to lock in his submission move that he been using all the time. They call it the hourglass. So he locked in the hourglass. Where he tried to lock in the hourglass, but Callihan, he was biting at Trey Miguel's leg to break up the move. And so yeah, he was biting at his leg. And then we had Sami Callihan, he hit a powerbomb on Trey Miguel, and Miguel kicked out. And then we had Callihan, he locked in the Boston Crab again. He locked in the Boston Crab, and he turned it into the STF. And then he turned it into a crossface. And then Miguel, he get his foot on the rope to break up the submission move. And so we had chops to Miguel. And then, they were fighting outside the ring. At one point, Trey Miguel, he was on the guardrail. And so Sami Callihan, he was showing off to the camera and stuff. And so he was about to go right back after Miguel. And so Miguel, he had ran up the steps. And then he hit a springboard cutter on Sami Callihan, outside the ring. And so, so Trey Miguel, he was going after Callihan. He was trying to pick him up. And so Callihan, he had kicked Trey Miguel into the steel steps. So Trey Miguel, the back of his head had hit the steel steps. And so, they got back into the ring. They were fighting. And then towards the end of the match, Trey Miguel, he was taking control of the match. And so Sami Callihan, he was trying to fake an injury. And so the referee went to go check on him. And so the referee was in a way while Trey Miguel was on the top rope. He was about to hit a top rope move. And so Trey Miguel, he was yelling at the referee to move out the way, like, move out the way, ref, move out the way. And so Sami Callihan, he walked past the referee and just knocked Trey Miguel not off the top rope, but onto the top rope. He tripped him on the top rope. And so he had picked up he picked up Trey Miguel in like a power driver position, but he hit the package power driver on Trey Miguel to win the match. So Sami Callihan wins, and that was it. So great match to end the show. Love the back and forth. And so yeah, man, I thought this was the best match on the show, man. And I think we are gonna get another match out of this because Sami Callihan, he cheated his way to win by faking an injury, so we might get another match out of this. It maybe a stipulation match, but because since he like to do death matches and everything, so we might get a stipulation out of this match. But yeah, man, whenever it will be, I don't know. Maybe at that Hardcore Justice pay-per-view, maybe, or maybe at Rebellion. Don't know. But yeah, man, that was it with Impact Wrestling, man. Good show. And so yeah, man, that was it. And if you like this video, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And when you hit that subscribe button, right next to it, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you'll be the first ones to know when my next video will come out. I'm here each and every single week, so make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow for AEW Dynamite, for the St. Patrick's Day edition of AEW Dynamite. And yeah, man, And comment down below, man. Comment down below. Tell me how you felt about this episode of Impact Wrestling. Share this video with each and every single person you come across on a day-to-day basis. Follow me on Twitter at Ryan Awesome Show. And yeah, man, if you missed last week's review on Impact Wrestling, the video will be right up here. It'll be right up here. And if you missed my sacrifice review on Saturday. If you missed my sacrifice review on Saturday, the video is going to be right up here. And once again, guys, thank you for the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. Take care, stay safe, and that's that.